Okay guys, we're ready for you here. I'm here today with Jason Khalipa, the CrossFit legend. Huge honor for me. And guys, today Jason is going to teach us here how to do a perfect handstand push-up. So I always see people doing and never know how they do it. So I think you are the best one in the planet on it.
Oh, I don't know about best one on the planet, but I could definitely share some thoughts.
There you go.
So let's talk about the handstand push-up. There's a strict handstand push-up and there's a kipping handstand push-up.
Yep.
My recommendation would be for most people, most of the time, probably stick with the strict, and then if they want to go into the kip, they can. So let me first, before anything, just demonstrate what these look like to get a better understanding. So the strict handstand push-up. And a kip.
Oh man.
Okay? The first one, I'm not utilizing my legs and hips at all.
You're almost straight.
Straight. It's basically like the shoulder press we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
The other one is almost like the push press we were talking about, where we're now able to use our legs and hips to create energy to help us get up the wall. Again, from a beginner perspective, my recommendation is start with strict before you start trying to do kip. And the reason for that is you want to make sure you have this prerequisite strength to control yourself down before you try and like kip up and kind of come crashing down on your neck, which is not the ideal situation.
Yep.
So before anything, we got to ask ourselves the question, do I have the ability to get upside down on the wall? So a great recommendation I like to start with is wall walks. So you can start in this position here.
Yep.
You could do a push-up and just walk your feet to here.
Yep.
And maybe for you or whoever for today, that's a win.
Yep.
Then maybe over time, you try and walk yourself all the way up until your body is flat and you're facing the wall.
Yep.
After a while, once you get comfortable with the wall walk, you could then start doing like this single skip concept. So it looks like this. I'm gonna place my hands up close to the wall, maybe about 6 inches, give or take.
Yep.
From here, I'm gonna kick one foot up and keep my other foot back. So it looks like this. So I'm here. And what that does, it makes me feel comfortable going upside down. Because for a lot of people, they haven't done that before, and it feels weird, it's scary. If you have a coach around, maybe they can grab your feet and help you with that. Once you feel comfortable there, then you can kick up both feet and work on maintaining that good midline position. So from here, you could then be here on your knee. You can go from here, boom, you kick both feet up, right?
Yep.
And what you want to think about is instead of being here in this overarch position, I'm bracing my belly and I'm looking at you, right? Now, once you get comfortable doing it from there, you can then step into it, kick your legs up. So at this point now, the athlete should have the capacity to be up against the wall with their arm locked out and their kind of good neutral spine position. Assuming they can do that, they can then start progressing. So a couple things we could do. We could do shoulder presses, which is what we talked about, which again, back to this kind of elbow forward brace position, and they're strengthening up their shoulders and feeling confident in that position with the dumbbells. Other things they could do is they could take a box. They could be on their knees. They could either have dumbbells or no dumbbells, it's up to them. And from this position, you could start off with keeping your arms pretty close to you, here, and drive up. Once you feel confident, you can get to your feet and pike your body up. The more piked you are, the more challenging it becomes. Once you build your confidence on your knees, on a pike, you could then start transitioning towards the wall. You can grab an ab mat, you can grab some type of mat. And what the idea is, you can actually try and grab 2 of them if you want, it doesn't matter. The idea is that when you're thinking about the push-up position, you want to think about a tripod. Yep. So it's really important. So when I do a push-up, my head comes slightly forward of my hands and I load my shoulders here. That same position I want to mimic on the handstand. So when I'm up against the wall, as I descend down, if my hands are here, my head comes slightly forward. So I just want you to see what this looks like. An athlete feels comfortable kicking up against the wall. They've developed some prerequisite strength doing that in shoulder presses. They now are going to kick up against the wall, descend down, control. So look like this. Watch me. Yep. I'm here, kick up, control, 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 come down. Once you've developed that and you've kind of created this awareness, okay, I could control my body on the way down. You could then start thinking about, can I try and drive on the way up? So you could work these negatives, feel confident. You could then, on the way down, load your shoulder and drive back up again. Okay?
That's incredible.
My head is in front of my hands.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is be here, which is one of the reasons, again, I was talking about the shoulder press. Once you develop this, and maybe you have 2 mats, maybe you have 3 mats, get rid of them, right? And try and go down to the floor in this position and press up being strict. As you start feeling comfortable, if you want, you could then start incorporating the kip. And what you want to think about on this kip is creating a hip angle. So this is really important to note. As I go down, I'm going to bring my head to the floor. Once my head hits the floor, I'm going to bring my knees towards my chest, almost like my knees towards my elbows. But when I do so, I'm going to rotate my pelvis over. So this is a really key concept to this movement that I want to show you. So you kick up, you're down. Now once I'm here, my butt goes against the wall. Now notice, if I'm just here, I'm not getting any power in my hip. I have to rotate my pelvis over. This is where the power comes from. And now from here.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
Right? Or you can go straight. So I went from work on the handstand,
Yeah.
develop the competency, the comfort, start developing prerequisite strength here. Work the negative, then work the strict, gain that strength, and then gain the kip, which again, rotating the pelvis and using my legs to drive me up.
Well, Jason, I love how focused you always are on your posture, and I love how you always kind of use that neutral posture on pretty much every move you do. Like, you were doing a shoulder press right before this, and it was pretty much the same posture, right?
They're pretty much the same, yeah.
Yeah, so how do you build those fundamentals, like, do you have anything specific in order to build these fundamentals that you can apply for every single exercise?
Well, it's all about progressions, just like in any other sport. Progressions are key. So you start off by saying, building your comfort, then you start strengthening the position, but you want to make sure before you try and go do anything crazy, you have all these prerequisites built in. Overhead, are you even able to get into this position? Or are you really overarching your back in the handstand position? Maybe you could delay going upside down for a little bit, work here on the box, gain strength, gain shoulder range of motion, and then get onto the wall and start practicing it. But the thing about fitness is, and this is important for me that I reflect on, is like, I don't want to just be fit for today or tomorrow. I want to be fit for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so I want to develop movements that can translate into real life and that I could do forever. And so starting off slow and then progressing is the key.
Good.